You are listening to episode 130. Yes, 130 of the Unnecessary Nonsense podcast. And on this episode, we will discuss some baseball briefly, some Miguel Cabrera, potentially something else if it comes to our mind. Then we'll go into some wrestling. And then Dave will bring up Sting. There you go. There's your brief reference. And I'll talk a little bit about, touch on Dynamite a little bit more into Rampage, and then we'll get into that. And I may throw in a little bit of a wrench because, of course, I never tell Dave when I'm going to throw in a wrench. That and more on this episode of the Unnecessary Nonsense podcast. Yes, I'm Carlos. That is David, and this is caffeine that I need.
Hey, caffeine is important, Carlos. Very important.
It is. You know what else I have? This isn't the wrench. Aussie Rules football cards!
Woo!
I know.
How many of those do you own, Carlos?
The two I showed you. This shit's hard to get from friggin' Australia. There's an embargo. I think the fix is in, man. The fact that I was able to get these out of the country. This is contraband.
From eBay or from ComC or
eBay.
Where they come from?
eBay.
eBay.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'll have to see if I can get some more. I actually like these things. One thing you can't tell, I don't know if you can see it. So this is kind of a cool design. It's got kind of a rainbow shine thing going for it.
Yep.
It actually looks pretty cool. But I don't know if you can make it out. The actual background of the character, so it says number 17, but the guy is composed of the word 17. So it's actually the word 17 all over, from his face all the way to his body.
I can't make that out.
Yeah, but the reason it's not completely solid in the background is because it is the word 17 written out. And that's what's actually making him the background. So I've got this one, and I've got number 12 here from the Western Bulldogs. Let's see, Zane Cordy and Will Hamill. Not ham sandwich. Love it.
Roger.
Aussie Rules.
So, Carlos, I want to tell you something, okay? I have finally rid myself of Bell.
You finally rid yourself of Bell.
Totally.
Our long national nightmare is now over.
Exactly.
They relive the dream.
And they still want the box back.
Of course they do.
Which, I'm pretty sure they're just going to junk.
Yeah, probably.
Because, that makes corporate sense. We're going to pay you... We're gonna pay whatever company to ship it back to us, so then we can then recycle it.
Yes. Correct.
I feel that's stupid. That's just my opinion.
Well, that's a different thing entirely.
But I am now saving over $40 a month, so I'll take that.
Enough. That'll work. But that's fair enough. So, at least one long-standing feud has been at least temporarily resolved.
Exactly, and I feel we should be thankful for that.
I shall endeavor to praise whatever God I believe in.
All right then. All right, Carlos. So let's talk some Miguel Cabrera.
Let's.
Because as you know, Miguel Cabrera today got his 3,000th hit.
He did indeed.
All right. So my question to you. So first of all, before I get my question to you, congratulations to Miguel Cabrera. That's a huge achievement. I'll get that. Obviously, longevity is a big deal. He started playing with Florida in 2003, and he's only played for Florida and now Detroit. So my question to you is, and I'll give you some of the stats, but where do you sort of rank him up, amongst the potential all-time greats? Because 3,000 hits is one of those numbers that if you get it, you're pretty much guaranteed Hall of Fame. You are guaranteed Hall of Famer. I don't think there's anybody that has 3,000 hits that's eligible that isn't in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Unless they're a steroid guy. So 2-time MVP, 11-time All-Star, 7-time Silver Slugger, 2-time Major League Player of the Year.
Yes, I do have the baseball reference page open, yes.
Yes. Okay, but I just want to put it out there. 2000 World Series, 4 times batting champion, right? Got a 310 lifetime batting average. I'm not going to mention his WAR because we hate WAR on this show.
Yeah, we refuse to acknowledge WAR.
Right? But almost 2,000 RBIs. I mean, just over 1,800.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I'll give you his on-base plus slugging.
Well, Dave, just to save time, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like World Series title, 4-time batting champion. Yeah.
But where is he? Where do you kind of rank him in the history of baseball greats?
In the history of baseball greats, it's a little tricky to do. I'd have to kind of look at it a little bit more carefully. For generational guys for this era, he and Pujols are like neck and neck. They're the two guys because statistically,
still playing.
Yeah, but you have to kind of bear in mind that yes, he compiled all these statistics. For me, 4 batting titles. So it's not like it's not even a longevity thing with him. Yes, he has longevity, but he has longevity in addition to actually being great over the course of that time. There was a time period. So those stats are all good. 4 batting titles, though. Think about that. A guy who has 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. That makes him one of, I think, 7 that has that combination. So that right there is a very tight window of individuals. If I go from his first complete season until basically, I would say the time he stopped being like an all-star caliber player. If I take that, that's from about 2004 to 2016. That's the period we're looking at. So in that period, he has 2 MVP awards. He was obviously high up in MVP voting, all-star every year. He's got all that. He won his 4 batting titles. To put it in perspective, in that time period, which again is not 1 or 2 years, that's from 2004 to 2016. That's a pretty good body of work. In that period of time, he racked up almost 1,500 of those RBIs and hit 323.
Yeah.
For the period of comfortably over a decade. That's good. That'll get her done. And of course, a triple crown, which hasn't happened in a generation. Comfortably 2 generations, basically. So, and that is a very difficult thing to do because most of the power guys cannot hit for average. They just can't. They strike out too much. They can't. So he was a guy, yes, he'd strike out, but he actually got better at it because by the time he got to his late 20s, he stopped striking out 100 times plus per year. But then he was still keeping his batting average. He hit 344 one year. He hit 348. He almost hit 350 one year. Hitting 350, nearly 350, 44 home runs, 137 RBIs. That's the year after he won the Triple Crown.
Yeah, that's pretty darn impressive.
That's special. What that is special. Back-to-back MVP years, deservedly so. So it's one of those things where like his credentials are unimpeachable in that sense. Having the World Series championship means that isn't even a concern. He had that very early in his career, relatively speaking. So no problem there. Great. So you don't even worry about the hardware that way. And then you just get to look at the rest of the body of work and go, he was a hitter. And his 3,000 hit was hit the other way. He is a hitter.
It's kind of fitting too, right?
Yeah. So it's one of those things. And like I said, he has 500 home runs and to go along with the 3,000 hits. So it was just this number that we needed psychologically to get him there. He's 39 years old, going to turn 40. So it's one of those things where it's like, can't complain too much. And he only just turned 39 years old 5 days ago.
Yeah. So do you think it's safe to say he's the best player to ever come out of Venezuela?
I would say probably, yeah. Yeah, I think that is I'd be very comfortable with that. I would also say, like I said, he's one of the top because it was the combination of both. And to be honest, we probably would have gotten an even greater appreciation for it if he hadn't gotten hurt and slowed down the last 5 years or so. Because once he started to slow down, it's what tends to happen. There's a bit of a decline, and then the player they struggle a bit. But he had already built up enough of a body of work. It's the Pujols situation. Once the body started to break down, it's like, but he had already built up so much of a body of work that it's like it's just putting icing on the cake now.
Yeah.
That make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that sounds good. Anything else baseball-wise you want to touch on?
I don't think so. Well, I'll just say this. I'm enjoying the fact that both the Blue Jays and the Dodgers are doing very well right now.
Yep.
And I believe, at least last I checked, so I think it hasn't changed, are both in first place in their respective divisions.
Nope,
or tied for first place.
Yeah. And Vladdy Jr. is doing a good job hitting early, which has been good. It's been good for eBay sales for Carlos that might have Vladdy Jr. cards up and making some money on those.
Actually, I do have one more baseball thing.
Go ahead.
Since you brought that up, which is the most important baseball thing we can talk about ever on this show. How is Juan Soto doing, and how are your cards doing in relation to how is Juan Soto doing?
So Juan Soto is struggling right now a little bit. He's had some good games, but that Nationals team is actual trash. They are like true trash.
It's crazy how like fast they went from World Series champion to absolute trash.
Well, they basically scrapped almost everything. Like Trey Turner went, and
they basically pulled to Florida.
Yeah, they basically went
Miami.
You've got this young guy, this young phenom. You had Max Scherzer. You got Trey Turner, who's pretty good. He won a batting title recently, last year. And he was neck and neck with Juan Soto. So it's like you just have to imagine, like Juan Soto, in order to actually have something to do during the postseason, went to go visit and celebrate Trey Turner. Sad times. I expect he'll by the time the season's over, he'll have a good year. He still has a good batting eye. He's gonna have to remain extremely patient because he doesn't have a lot of protection in the lineup. They do have Nelson Cruz who can still hit home runs. Like he's not bad, but he's already over 40 plus.
He's like
Um,
42, 43 now,
yeah.
isn't he?
So the thing is, can he still hit home runs? Absolutely. He's still got power. I don't think that's going to be an issue, but he's not
Oh,
a
he's
great
41
hitter.
only,
Yeah.
Nelson
He's
Cruz.
not a great hitter. So I don't think, so that's not going to offer much protection in the lineup. So it means Soto's basically going to have to wait for the one pitch per game. And if he can turn on it, well, then great. He'll get a couple of home runs. Otherwise, it's going to be a healthy dose of walks, most likely, this season. And if he can do that, he could still end up with a pretty high average. If he ends up with decent power, he'll still be up there. He could still be an MVP candidate, so it could be good by the time the season's over. Vladdy Jr.'s on the other side of the spectrum. That lineup is potent. That's a strong lineup, top to bottom. So it's not like you can walk people around him and then, yeah, okay, give him base runners, or you walk him and create additional base runners. So it's a lineup that can bat around. I expect the Jays will have some explosive offensive outputs this year, and he has a good chance of being in the middle of that. So from the perspective of those cards, those have been easy sells. I've done well with those. I've got a bunch still. Soto, this might be an accumulation period for me because if he has a slow first half, because that team really does suck, it might be picking up some pieces. And I'm getting some stuff in. I'm getting some real good stuff in. I'm waiting. I'm kind of in a holding pattern right now. And also, I've been picking up a lot of wrestling cards. I've been having some fun with that. So that's been kind of enjoyable for me. But I do want to hold back a little bit because the expo this year is early June, which we're looking at the calendar right now is about 5 weeks away.
And are you going to be doing it? You're going to be going all in again, all every day, VIP pass,
It's
whatever.
going to depend. It's going to, well, yeah, the pass for sure. The only thing I'm going to try to figure out is I know that I have some stuff at work. I'm definitely going to take at least probably the Friday off, and I'll see what happens as far as the how that shakes out. That's the part I have to figure out. So I don't know yet, but I plan to be there for 2 or 3 days for sure. So that's not going to be an issue. I'll be around. Because to me it's like a mini vacation. So for me it's kind of like a great opportunity to get some rest and kind of because I don't kill myself at the show anymore. I walk the floors and talk to people and do all that, but I'm actually not walking up and down the aisles all day. That isn't what I do. I spent most of the last expo hanging out at the at the tables in the food court and just holding court, denouncing idiocy. That's what I do. So for me, it was more fun to do that, and I was still able to make some deals and get some transactions. And sometimes the deals come to me. I'll give you a quick story.
All right.
I think you'll enjoy this one. A couple of weekends ago, or last weekend, there was the Expo brand has been expanded. So now there is an Edmonton Expo. That was last week, I think. And I was doing my thing, minding my business, and I get a message on Instagram. And one of the guys that Paul, who is a staple in the chat, and basically watches a lot of the episodes and things, and I chat with him a little bit off and on. He reached out and he says, "Hey, I'm at the Edmonton Expo and I'm at this table. Do you have this?" And he sends me a picture of a Medano patch card out of 10. So a tougher early 2000s Medano patch card. So I take a look at it and I'm pretty sure I don't. Let me double check. So I'm like, nope, I don't got that one. So I was like, okay, so what are they thinking? It's like, all right. And it's like, probably about 300. And I go, okay, let's see. It's not, I don't think he's being ridiculous, but is there any wiggle room, some negotiation? So through him, I chatted with him. Through him, I negotiated a deal. And then basically I said, so is he good with that? He goes, yep. Okay. So can I send you the money and we close off the transaction? He goes, sounds good. Send the money, makes the purchase, and it's been shipped on its way. And I think I'll be able to pick it up on Monday based on the tracking from Canada Post. So
Nice.
I was able to make a purchase in Alberta while I'm sitting here in my house. So needless to say, it can help having additional eyes. So the point is, I don't need to pound the pavement at the show if there are people that kind of know what I'm looking for and reach out and let me know, hey, this thing's here. I had the same thing happen at the Toronto one. I was at Tim Hortons. I was taking a breather to get a bite. I get a message and say, hey, this dealer has these two. Are you interested? Yeah, what's the price? This. Buy it. Buy it now. I will reimburse you. So, and they did, and took care of it. That's why I make the joke when I do my live stream. It's like, psh, I don't need to do this. Dave, I have people. You should get people. Have people.
Apparently you do have people, man.
I have people. Are you surprised?
No, of course not.
I'm Carlos. This is what I do.
But you've also been doing this for years.
Correct. Hashtag on brand. This is how you do it, man. You got to have people. If you don't have people, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. But that also means that I don't have to, like I said, I'm past the point of walking down at every single table and like staring at every single I don't care enough.
Yeah.
I'm there just to chill out, have fun. This is relaxing for me. It's kind of a vacation for me. Yes, I enjoy it, and I will still look out and try to make some deals. But I also would like to put some money aside for that. So hopefully I'll have a nice little budget coming into this next one. So we'll see. That's my plan. I want to put some cash aside, and I could have a pretty sweet budget. Now, again, it'll depend if I see something cool that I think is worthy, but I'll be prepared. I'll have if everything goes according to plan. So that's why I want to sell some more stuff as well to potentially have some more cash in those holdings for that. So that should be fun. That should be fun. So before we move on, one quick thing.
Right.
This occurred to me, and I was thinking about it the other day, and actually I'll bring it up now. Let's take a moment and give a little bit of praise to Alexander Ovechkin for setting a couple of nice little marks here. So by getting to 50 goals, that is the 9th 50 goal season, which ties him with some lightweights like the RIP Mike Bossy and Wayne Gretzky.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some minor goal scorers in history. So pretty good. That's pretty solid. He is also the oldest 50 goal scorer in history. He has also reset the mark for most goals at age 36, breaking Teemu Selänne's record of 48 by scoring 50. And the previous oldest 50 goal scorer was Johnny Busick. I believe that's right, if memory serves me. Yeah. So previous one was Johnny Busick, and I think age 35, and Ovechkin is at age 36, and he's amongst the league leaders in goals. Austin Matthews will probably win that because he's almost at 60. I think he's got a 58 or 59 goals. So, but still, 50 goals this season, and this is his first 90 point campaign in years. So really good season by Ovechkin, really good. Now he is also at 780 goals. Now this is important because it means that now if he can put a couple more goals in before the end of the season,
which I'm sure he will.
Yeah, he's sitting right now as it stands today. He is 22 goals away from passing Gordie Howe. And there's a very important number I want to share, and that is 795. That will happen probably sometime next season. 795 is important because 795 puts him exactly 100 goals behind passing Gretzky, because that would be 895 would be the new record.
Right.
So at that stage, ESPN now does the coverage for hockey. So if anybody's in the sports card realm for the hockey world, the Ovechkin card has been going up slowly over time. Obviously, the situation in Russia and how closely he's tied with Putin, it turns off some people, but the card still has maintained a pretty steady increase over time. When he is 100 goals behind Gretzky and then about to pass Gordie Howe, at 100 goals, the countdown is basically going to be on every highlight every time he scores a goal. They're going to be like, he's now 87 goals away. He's now 76 goals away, 68 goals away. That's going to get way more attention to it, just naturally, because it's going to be mentioned every single time. So now almost every goal he scores will be like a historic thing as the countdown is officially on.
So how many Ovechkins have you bought up?
I had bought them already previously. I sold one. I've got another one with me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my hands on another one because the pricing on those is very tricky. Now, if money was no object, I would buy some, even at the inflated price, because of what I literally just said. Yes, they've gone up, but just put this in your mind. The Young Guns Ovechkin, like in a PSA 10, will probably run you about, I want to say $5,000, $6,000. It's not cheap. But the point is that if even as it is, that's at the current state where, like I said, there's a little bit of coldness, just because of the Russia situation, just because of all that. But even then, it's remained fairly stable and steady, only because, despite all this, he continues to chug forward. Okay, here we go. So, $7,800 US. Think about that. $7,800 for the Young Guns. And you could have bought that for $500 in 2019.
Yeah.
Think about it. And he still hasn't gotten to 100 goals shy. Like I said, I'm using the 100 goals thing as just psychological barrier because I actually think that will be a thing. Because when he's 100 goals away, people are going to be like, wait a minute, that's actually kind of close. It hasn't clicked yet. Yes, he's setting these numbers. Yes, it's been very impressive, all this stuff. But psychologically, people are going to be like, wait, 100 is a number I can get my head around. Okay, now we're counting seasons. How many more seasons? This next season will be extremely critical because right now he's at 780.
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable that if he starts off to a hot start, he could pass Gordy before the midpoint of the season. Now it's just, okay, so how close do you get? Do you get to like 820, 830 by the end of the season? Well, now Wayne Gretzky's there off in the distance at 894, and you're at about 820, 830. You can actually see a scenario. Now all of a sudden, the unreachable mountain, you can actually see the summit. It's actually there within sight. That is a huge psychological difference where people like, well, I guess he could someday. Well, now all of a sudden someday becomes actually next couple of years, we could get there. We'll have to see. But it's also the last time we're going to see that. So that's why I'm saying like it's a significant. The reason I'm taking this time to explain this is significant because given the way the goal scoring is today, guys don't score 50 all the time. That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
So who's the next great challenger for this? Funny enough, Austin Matthews over in Toronto, scoring almost 60 this year, is like
possible.
He's the only young guy because I think he's almost at 250 career goals, if you can believe that. And he's a young guy still. So it's one of those things like he could be the only. Could you imagine that if a Maple Leafs guy actually becomes like starts ascending the goal scoring ranks to the degree? I don't think he'll catch Ovechkin because, like I said, Ovechkin has been exceptionally durable and consistent.
For sure. But do you imagine if if it was possible, like the price that card is going to go up just because he's on the Leafs?
But that's
extra value.
That is what I'm trying to get at. That's literally my point. Imagine if it was even conceivable, if it becomes even a real possibility at that level. It's like all of a sudden it's like, yeah. So here it is. I got it in front of me. He has 257 career goals, and he is 24 years old. Interessante. Just throwing it out there, and it's not like he's cheap now. But still, that's That is not hashtag invest advice because it's already expensive as hell. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
But like I said, if money was no object, I would probably look at getting some of those Ovechkins because there is room if he actually gets within visual distance of the summit. Because psychologically, everybody's going to be like, I didn't think anybody would get there. There's no reason to believe there's really anybody else outside of maybe this young Mr. Matthews who even has a shot because nobody else scores goals at that rate.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. Interesting thoughts. Just some food for thought for everyone. Ready for some wrestling?
Let's do it, Carlos. So you want to talk about Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter promo to start off today?
I do. I liked it the first time. The second time, I was like, why am I seeing this again? So they faced off against each other. They actually have history. There are matches. You can see Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter matches. So I'm into this. This will be great. And the Owen Hart Cup, I like the way the field has been building out. We got Britt Baker in it. We've got Tony Storm in it. Like I said, we've got Jamie Hayter. That's a cool matchup. If they use some footage and some tape and stuff, that'd be really great because they actually have history. They've competed a number of different times in different matches over the years. So that's good. And they're playing off the fact they do know each other. That's good. And Jamie Hayter was on commentary actually giving some talk during one of the Tony Storm matches. That's good. These are all good things because we're actually playing off these two actually know each other. This is not the first time they faced off. But this is where I think Tony Khan maybe needs to delegate the women's division to somebody. I don't know who. But delegate the women's division to someone because they've got these weird things they'll do. The face-to-face interview, I was okay with because it reestablished that they know each other. Good. Mm-hmm. The second time, I was like, you literally just did this. And the only difference between the first one and the second one is that now Britt Baker's there. She didn't really contribute that much to the conversation, except for the fact that she had run down Tony Storm, in Pittsburgh in a promo when she came back and had her match. And then, Tony Storm refers to her, but she also refers to then Jamie Hayter. And then Tony Schiavone is like standing there and like doing this thing. And then it's basically just a really quick promo. They throw some insults back at each other. She walks away. And then basically Britt Baker's like, why does she always walk away? She always walks away. It's like a little shot at the WWE thing, where she left. But the thing is, at the same time, I'm like, okay, for that joke, for that punchline, we needed the segment. Maybe give me a video package the second time. Do the face-to-face interview once, and then give me a video package the second time to establish the history. Give me that information.
For sure.
Show me in this case. I just thought it was weird. I was like, why did you do this twice? I saw it the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know. And the Britt Baker thing didn't actually add anything to the second one. I was like, maybe if Britt Baker had attacked her or something and they put the boots to Tony Storm or something,
Yeah.
change it some way between the first and the second, other than the fact that Britt Baker is physically there. I just thought it was weird because they had to promo this interview segment during the show, and I was like, why? Okay, also unrelated to it, and this is for Rampage, and I think you'll appreciate this. So now we've got the mini feud we all didn't know we wanted, but I think now we do. Hook and Danhausen.
Because
let's go! Dave, let's go!
I don't know. It could be good.
It'll be stupid, but who cares? Right now,
But I
Hook...
also haven't seen, like, I've never actually seen, well, I have, but not really, like, to a degree which I would, like, know. Like, I don't know how Danhausen really wrestles. Or if
he's pretty... He's not too bad. He's not too crazy. What I'll say is that... I don't know if it's actually going to result in a real match between the two. It could be just some backstage vignettes, and maybe the match is going to happen and something happens. Like, I could imagine that being the case. I don't think it benefits them to have Danhausen wrestle. His strength is not wrestling. He's a decent enough wrestler. He's reasonably sound. He's not bad, because I have seen a couple of matches of him. He's not bad, but he's not going to wow you with his wrestling. Where his thing is the character. His thing is the theatrics, the weird, way of talking, cursing people. He's entertaining. So that's kind of his strength. And if you take advantage of that, I think you can get a lot of good mileage out of Danhausen. Under the right circumstances, pairing him with the right people, having him do certain things. Like sometimes he does some of the pre-shows and stuff. So having Danhausen be part of a pre-show thing, it's kind of fun just having him around. He's a little bit of a different.
Is he still... Sorry, before you get him more, is he still injured?
He was. I don't know if he's healed up.
But he hasn't wrestled on Dark or Elevation, has he?
Well, he had a broken leg.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like, I haven't seen him doing any wrestling on anything yet.
Yeah,
so
I don't think he's really
recovered.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, to me right now, Danhausen's value is that he's a character. I don't know if he's healed up. I don't know if he's comfortable. I don't know if he's cleared to wrestle. I think it's kind of fun that now where I think the value is in having him and Danhausen, him and Hook, is that it gave Hook the opportunity to have a reason to speak. So it was the first time that he actually said words. So on Rampage, we got the first words from Hook.
Nice. What did he actually say?
He said, "You wanted my attention, you got it," and that's it. Which is fine. That's like literally he shouldn't talk much. Like, the whole shtick is that he comes in, just takes care of his business, and leaves, and he disrespects everybody. That's really it. So that's what I mean. Like him and Danhausen are kind of comedic, and they kind of entertain me that way. So it'll be fun. Right now, Hook is early enough in his career that this is a perfectly fine thing for him to do briefly before moving on to other things. The logical follow-ups eventually down the road, I could see him getting into some kind of a combative thing with Ricky Starks, maybe becoming the FTW champion, his dad's belt.
Yeah.
Like and that would be a good match. I think that'd be a fun match.
I think so too.
Yeah. And then Ricky Starks potentially could go off on his own. So that's a thing that could happen because Ricky Starks is very talented. So this could be an opportunity for him to branch out and do his own thing and get in there and actually start competing for some of these other titles. And then Hook would make perfect sense being the FTW champion for a bit. So like that would be perfectly logical. So that gives them both an opportunity to do something. That's what I mean. Like there's a path here. And I think the Danhausen thing is a fun little distraction. I wouldn't drag it out too long. Have some fun with it. Do whatever you're going to do. Get it done, and then move on to Hook's next thing. But it's fun. It maybe gives Hook a little bit of personality briefly, because usually he's just stoic. He doesn't say anything. And Danhausen was able to coax a couple of words out of Hook.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like Danhausen has value. You just got to use him right. And I think that's kind of a fun thing to use him for. The only other thing I'll say about Rampage that I thought was interesting. Well, actually, I got two things. First one, I like that they started off the Rampage episode with Adam Cole and I want to say Ishii. And it was a good kind of an intro to the Forbidden Door pay-per-view they're going to do. So there's some potential dream matchups and things they could do. Don't be surprised if that's a good excuse to bring back Kenny Omega if he's ready to go.
That's true. That would be a good time to bring him back. When is that going to be?
Soon. Not long. I will see if I can find it here.
Here, I can do it if you want. Will you continue with what you're going to talk about?
Yeah, so I think it's good that they're introducing some of these Japanese wrestlers. So the AEW fans tend to be more informed about this. But it's still good to introduce them, give a little bit of an explanation who they are, show them off a little bit, and then we've also got Jay White kind of interjecting himself a little bit, which makes total sense. So you're incorporating some of that in there. You have Rocky Romero, who's involved in that Chaos faction with
June
Ishii.
26th.
Yeah, so not long. Good. So yeah, so that I think that'll be a fun pay-per-view, to be honest. I don't know what matchups they're going to want to do, but I could see a lot of potential interesting ones. There are a lot of Japanese talent that would do very well, that you could have some great matches with certain folks. The Young Bucks were spent a lot of time in Japan. Kenny Omega spent time in Japan. Adam Cole spent time in Japan. You got lots of people on that roster who have spent time in Japan.
I think the key is the storyline, though, too. Like, what can you do to develop that pay-per-view from a story point of view as well as a match point of view?
I think it's going to be tricky, though, because a lot of those Japanese wrestlers, I think you're going to have to borrow history. I think you're going to have to set up matchups that they have some history, and then you can define it for folks when
that's fine.
when you're set. Yeah,
But I think otherwise, right? Like if you wanting other people to kind of tune into it, otherwise you're gonna have, oh, hey, this guy used, here's this Kenny Omega versus this guy from Japan that you've never heard of.
Oh, but here's the thing:
unless you're following it closely,
this I would almost treat this as outside of the AEW canon. It's not completely outside, but you have to understand it's a super show. They're promoting it as a super show. It's its own deal. You're not going to be able to sell. You can build some storylines, but when I mean storylines, I mean minimally, because you're probably not going to have the Japanese talent to set up your storyline. A couple of them will be able to show up and do a couple of things, but 90% of them are going to show up not long before the pay-per-view, do the match, and leave.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be able to do it that way. This is meant to be like a one-off super show. You're going to get some dream matches for folks. The audience you're selling this to is the hardcore audience. They know who these Japanese stars are anyway. What you can do is give a little backstory. Why is Adam Cole facing this person? Why is Kenny Omega facing this person? Why are the Young Bucks facing this person? They have some history. Oh, they were competing in Japan and they fought for like months back and forth and tried to kill each other at the Tokyo Dome and doing this, that, and the other thing. You can do that. And that will give you what you're looking for, and that will be your backstory. And if you do that, that's fine. I think that'll be okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and that'll be enough because, like I said, as a one-off super show, I think the pay-per-view will do okay because there'll be a lot of folks that will be interested to see that combination. And again, the potential of a Kenny Omega appearance could make it fun, and that could lead into the AEW canon and bring it back to the normal sequencing of pay-per-views. Last thing I wanted to mention about the Rampage episode was that the main event was Jade taking on Marina Shafir. For preparing for her 30th victory, 30-0. So she did win, becoming 30-0, which is fine. I'm okay with it. But to be clear, I wanted to give it a chance. But Marina Shafir really is bad. She's really, really bad. Like, holy crap. I don't know what the idea is. It's like the whole presentation is bizarre. It's like she's an MMA fighter. Yes, that's true. She was part of the group with, Ronda Rousey and Jessamine Duke and Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler actually took really well to professional wrestling. She's been wasted in WWE. They've done a terrible job with her. Ronda Rousey was pretty good in wrestling, but she, in her return, has not been that great. But she is capable. Jessamine Duke never worked, and Marina Shafir, for whatever reason, has never worked. And it's funny because she's married to Roderick Strong. So she's married to a really good professional wrestler, and it's not that she can't wrestle. It's that I don't think she ever figured out how to incorporate anything resembling a character into it. It's like, even if you want to be a badass, you can do that, but there are ways that you can do it where, like, okay, if you're going to do the no frills presentation and you're going to be a badass, I'm thinking try to invoke Dan the Beast Severn. Dan the Beast Severn did about as good a job as you could do of this because he's just this really tough dude. He came in on like this sweaty t-shirt and coming to the ring, but you knew he was legit.
Yeah.
So he played off the fact he's legit. So for him, he kept it fairly basic, but his moves were impactful. They felt like, it's like, because he's a legit dude, then when he hits a move, I believe that hurts because he can do that. That's the kind of damage he can deliver. With Marina Shafir, it's like she'll like combine these submission holds, which look good, and then this offense that's weird. She does like a judo kind of throw, a little bit of Ronda Rousey reference there. But at the same time, I was like, but you're like slow and plodding to get to the ring. You're kind of there. You have no facial expressions whatsoever, other than the occasional grimace of pain. And you've got Jade, who's still new. I think they got as good a match as they could have out of these two because Jade is not super experienced and Marina Shafir is sort of experienced, but she never really got out of NXT
But
developmental.
Jade is getting better.
She is. Oh, she's 100% getting better. She has but she has the personality. She was able to, even if the rest of it wasn't working, Jade had the mannerisms, the personality, the reactions, the facial expressions, all the things that you needed.
Yes.
Mark Sterling was able to do his job in order, being a sleazy manager. Now she's got the baddies section, so all of a sudden, Red Velvet and these other ones have something to do. Why Red Velvet is just randomly like a hanger-on in the baddies, I don't know, but I'm fine with it. It's okay. And their big offensive move is to throw popcorn at people. Now apparently that's a thing.
Hey, it's better than the people who come. They make a big splash and are there for a bit and then disappear.
Yeah,
like Miro, man, bring him back.
He's still fighting God.
It's been what is it? I saw it. Let's see if I can find it. It's been like 160 days since he's appeared on Dynamite.
Well, I think he was at Coachella. He was busy.
I mean, it's not just
he's fighting God at Coachella. What do you want, man?
Dude, I'm just saying that that's the one thing that bugs me about AEW right now. I think there's a lot. I mean, like we talked about, the stuff they do good or well, they do really well, and it's awesome.
Yep.
Right. The problem is
they'll stop and start things. They'll start off with something and then kind of stop and start and then never connect the dots. I actually think you could have made Miro's absence work a little bit if you wanted to, but you have to explain it at some point. You have to be like, he's away, He literally could have been like
100. It's over 160 days now.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. He had the injury. He might have taken him a while to recover. But in storyline, you could have actually had him because he's been having his feud with gods. He could be off to the celestial plane to fight God. That's fine. But explain it. Give a reason.
Well, yeah. But apparently an article, I mean, I know you can only put so much stock in these, wrestling journalists, if you will, quote unquote. I use quotations around that, right?
Yeah.
But there's an article this week that came out that basically talked about the fact that he's supposedly healthy and just waiting for creative to give him something to do.
Yeah, could be. But that's what I mean. Like right now, there's a couple of guys that are kind of in this stasis where I could think of a couple of things to do with them, but you're going to have to get real clever. And actually, that reminds me.
Even then, just put it, I mean, if you want, right now, you have a perfect opportunity to get people in. Just put them in the Owen Hart Cup.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he is in the Owen Hart Cup, though. Like, we don't have all the brackets and stuff yet. Don't forget, there's qualifying matches.
I'm just saying that's an easy way to say, hey, this person has been on TV a while. Here, they need something to do. Here you go.
Yeah. I think that would make logical sense. That would be a good spot for him to kind of come back, at least to get the ball rolling on him again and see what you want to do.
Or
actually,
declare a winner, and just before you hand them the trophy, have like God snatch it and hand it to Miro, or something like that.
I think that could work. That actually reminded me. I almost forgot. This wasn't directly pertaining to Rampage, but it actually plays into it a little bit because I actually forgot this match was on Rampage, even though it kind of was. You had Lance Archer kill Serpentico. So here's the thing. Here's the reason I particularly enjoyed it. So basically that's a squash match leading into him taking on Wardlow. That's part of the Wardlow build, which by the way, the Wardlow build has been excellent. They've done tremendously well. This has been actually exceedingly done well. I've been super pleased with it. But it's funny because Lance Archer though was a weird one because he's there. And he's this monster guy, but it's like, I almost feel like I would have liked to have seen them do something with him. Specific. In this case, he's like the monster of the week that Wardlow is going to take on. So like MJF keeps getting these monster guys, but I'm like, just a question. After Wardlow beats Lance Archer, he will, but, and Lance Archer will get wins and other things. So Lance Archer is never buried because he'll always get wins against some other guys, but then eventually he'll get these, he'll run into a wall at some point. Although in fairness, he did beat Jon Moxley for that New Japan Pro Wrestling US Championship. So he did have a title win against a named top tier guy. So it's not like he's never won anything on AEW. He did win that. Great match too. But the thing I'm trying to figure out is you had the Butcher and he and Wardlow had a fun, hard hitting, Haas fight. We had a nice Haas fight. And with Lance Archer and him, we're going to have another nice Haas fight. That's going to be good. We do love our Haas fights, so that's solid. We do. But I'm like, okay, so who's the next Haas you're going to throw in front of him? Who else we got?
Keith Lee? Powerhouse Hobbs?
You know what would be a good one? I know he's doing some stuff now. Now they're starting to use him a little bit with Ring of Honor.
Brian Cage?
But what about Brian Cage? That'd be a good one. Brian Cage and Wardlow? That'd be pretty sweet. I think that'd be kind of fun. And then he could go back to doing some stuff at Ring of Honor because I think right now they're going to focus his attention mostly on Ring of Honor, which is fine for Brian Cage. That works great. But you could borrow him here. You could have him be the the Hoss fight of the week with Wardlow.
Hoss fight of the week. I like it.
But I think that'd be fun.
The new AEW's newest segment, Hoss fight of the week.
I don't think one individual would complain about this. No one would complain.
Not anyone who knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's like, guys, this is our gift. Yes. All right. But yeah, there's certain areas that are being neglected right now. We need more Miro. We need more Hoss fight. And I don't know who the next logical one for Wardlow is. And also, at some point, you have to, I guess maybe you're timing it up for a pay-per-view, but it's like, so at some point, you have to have the Wardlow moment that pushes MJF over the edge where they actually agree to have a match.
Yes.
So that we need that thing. And I'm curious what that thing's going to be. I'm not sure yet. And that's the part where I'm really not clear about it. So my takeaways right now, we need some Miro. We need some more Hoss fight. We need a logical next place for this to go. I'd like to see Lance Archer do something. You could also put him in ROH temporarily to give him something to do to get him off TV and then bring him back after. I'd be fine with that. You can use the two companies interchangeably, so that'd be fine with that. The other piece, although Archer did have a good run in Japan, maybe he could have a fun feature match on Forbidden Door.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool. I could see some potentials. I could see some potential matchups with that. That'd be a cool use of him if that's what you wanted to do. The one I'm trying to figure out as well is right now we're kind of in a stasis as far as the championships are concerned. I need Jade to have a legitimate competitor for that TBS championship, whether it be an incoming Athena or Mia Yim, going by whatever name she'll go under, something.
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to have to be a new person because I don't see logically who fits on the current roster that is currently set up to be on a collision course with her. I don't know who that would be if you wanted to go that route. I feel like you have to pull somebody from the outside. But at some point, the winning streak thing has to run into somebody. We need somebody credible to be your challenger for that win streak. Yeah, because Jade's doing great. But at some point, you can't just rely off the win streak. Yeah, at some point, you have to okay, let's go. Right now, it's fine. But I'm not going to run that win streak. We're not going to run the Goldberg win streak here. That ain't happening.
At some point, come on.
Yeah, we just need to have I'm comfortable with whatever, as long as there is a plan for when that's going to be. Do we have a person designated for this? One dark horse that I had thrown out was Statlander. That could be fun.
Who's also been absent for 90 days plus.
No, she's done. She was on. She was on TV. She was basically involved in the feud with Red Velvet and Layla Hirsch, and then she actually, if you get a chance to check out Dark, she previewed her new entrance in gear.
Oh, I'm talking about on Rampage or Dynamite.
On Rampage or Dynamite? Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Interesting. I think it'll be. I think it's interesting because I got a chance to on the last week's Dark. I got a chance to see she has a slightly new entrance and new gear made up. So I think she's introduced it with different mannerisms and kind of a different entrance. I think they were working on it to get it to refine. I think with the next time we see her, she's going to have a slightly different presentation because what I'm seeing there. And also, I want resolution for Pirate Julia Hart. Let us not forget, I want resolution for Pirate Julia Hart.
Yes.
This is incredibly important. Dave, we have a list. This is my list. My list of shit that needs to get fixed, Tony Khan.
Yeah, I would like resolution for Pirate Julia Hart. I mean, she can't be Pirate Julia Hart forever. Really, the thing that makes the most sense is that she joins the House of Black.
Yeah, we've been exceedingly patient. Now is the time for you to deliver this to us. Give us Pirate Julia Hart in the House of Black. She can still be a pirate there.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I'd be cool. Either make her a pirate in House of Black or get rid of the eye patch. Also, why does the black mist from Malachi Black only seem to make her have to wear an eye patch, whereas no one else does?
What, you want continuity?
Yes, Carlos.
Ding. All right, that's my segue. All
right. So speaking of Sting.
Yeah, go ahead.
P.S. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that the shtick of him pulling off the Sting mask to reveal that he's actually Sting is the fact that it's been used as much. It's been used way more than I ever expected it would have. Like there are actually compilation videos now out there of him, Sting revealing himself as Sting.
I feel though that I think the best part about it though is that even though he's older, Sting is still a reasonably large dude.
Yeah.
He has a certain body type. He's got a certain build. It's like, who did you think it was? Did you think it was Mark Sterling? It's like, did you think it was? It's like, did you think it was one of the other wrestlers on the roster? Did you think it was Serpentico? One time, I would like the fake Sting to be Serpentico.
Oh my god, that'd be funny. Or
That-
or just somebody else. It's not fake Sting. It's like
I'm just
Penta
saying,
Obscuro.
Dave. Imagine it. One time, fake Sting is Serpentico.
Or Penta Zermiedo, who's now Penta Obscuro, becomes
Penta
Sting.
Oscuro.
Oh, sorry, Oscuro.
It's
Sorry,
Penta Dark.
we have to get you for the correct pronunciation.
This one I got. Oscuro, no problem. It's like Penta Dark. By the way, I love his theatrics. It's Penta Dark. It's fun. But although Alex Hantes, I forget the other guy's name.
Abra.
Not abracadabra. What's wrong with you? No.
It's Abra something.
Whatever. The point is, I love Penta's theatrics with the whole gravestone and the whole 9 yards because Penta's just entertaining. He is entertainment. I enjoy him and his presentation. But Alex gets way too into this shit. He's a fucking weirdo. This dude's a weirdo. Holy crap.
That's what his name is.
Whatever. The point is, you see him with his little like druid costume, but like, you are way too into this, bro. Way
For a guy who's not actually a wrestler on the show.
You are way too extra on this. You are way too. It's like, can I be the druid guy? Just calm down. Calm down. Just
He's
a little too pumped.
I mean,
about
you got to admire the fact that he's into it.
I like to think that he's basically what you would be if we put you in a position to say, guys, get this great idea.
Anyway, back to Sting, Carlos.
Back to Sting.
So first of all, I two things I want to point out, and then I have some actual questions I want to talk about with you.
Go ahead.
But first of all, so I watched the Sting Into the Light, the last little bit.
Okay.
Which is a docu. Basically, it's what I like when WWE puts out a DVD, okay, or a DVD set. So there's 2, 3, however many DVDs are in it. Yeah. First DVD is a documentary about their career, and then you've got some, and the rest are matches or some vignettes.
Yeah.
Right. Which has been good. But it's so here's the thing. Here's my observations from watching that DVD. Okay. From the matches. First of all, my God, were Sting trash when he was with the Ultimate Warrior. Like, they were so bad, Carl.
Yeah.
So bad.
But if it helps at all, Jim Hellwig never got better.
You took it away from me, Carlos. Sting, improved and became a great wrestler. And, the other Blade Runner arguably did not. There's one match on there where literally it's all they do is like forearm people. They're just like forearm people, clothesline them, and then end by body slamming them, and the match is over.
Right.
Also, I don't know why they decided to do this, but there's so many matches of his in WCW that end with interference.
Well, in fairness, depending on the area you're talking about, in WCW, that was literally all they did. They I don't know if you remember. So basically, here's the way I would present this to you. What became part of WCW's downfall, so to speak, is that they started to rely on this to the point that, and this is one of the things that Eric Bischoff does, like his podcast and stuff, and he sort of like half acknowledges some of the creative failures, but then like ignores certain things. What he did eventually is he got to this point where you would have these mega matchups on TV, which was innovative at the time. Because at the time we had syndicated television. It was like WWF Superstars back in the day. But it would be like, oh, the $1 Million Man against Jobber 17. It would be like, the Macho Man against Jobber 18. Yeah. And it'd be like so-and-so again. It was jobber match after jobber match, squash after squash. There was never like any real matches on it. You save those for pay-per-views or Saturday night's main event, a special. And that's when you would get like the more interesting matchups. Otherwise, they'd yell at each other or like beat each other up in the back or whatever the case may be. But at WCW, they would have these name matchups, but it would almost always, a lot of matches would just end in disqualifications, interferences, schmazes, like a bunch of people would jump in the ring and attack each other, and the match would get thrown out. And after a while, it became the boy who cried wolf. It's like you'd have this, oh, you're trying to promote this matchup as this thing to be excited about, but it's like, we're not going to get a conclusion. You're not getting a real conclusion until the pay-per-view. Yeah. So you put it on the show. What is that supposed to draw? You actually negate a lot of the effect of it. But also, eventually, we got used to it. So that's why I say it's hurt wrestling television to this day, because nowadays, most people will not accept squash matches. Ironically, AEW has brought back the squash match a little bit. They bring in enhancement talent whose job it is to be like, Serpentico. There was a joke. A lot of the AEW folks have vlogs, and I enjoy them. I watch some of the vlogs, and they're actually quite good. I would recommend the Ethan Page one. It's a good vlog. The Bunny, Allie, has a vlog. It's fun for what it is. But at one point in her vlog, I think the most recent one, she was there having a quick chat with either Isaiah Cassidy or the other one from Private Party, thank you. But they were just having a quick chat. They were just having a quick conversation in the vlog. And they were talking to each other, but they were joking about it because they're both part of the same faction. He was joking about it. It's like, so it's like, you think I'm gonna win? It's like, well, yeah, I think I'm gonna win. It's like, are you 1-87? Shut up. And it's like, it was meant to be like as a lighthearted joke, but like they're both, it's like, yeah, we're like on team loser. It's like, it's a backstage vlog, just them joking about it. But the thing is like, yeah, basically Allie and the Bunny, Butcher and Blade, they're good at what they do, but their job is basically to lose. They're like high class jobbers. Yeah. Their job is to be there and do that, but they're going to lose way more often than they're ever going to win. They'll get the odd win here or dark here and there, but it's like the Butcher and the Blade look fantastic, and they're actually a pretty solid tag team, but they're not going to win anything. Their purpose is to be there either as a duo or as individuals to lose. The Bunny's job is to be there and be crazy and then lose. So AEW has a group of people whose job is to do this. Again, Serpentico. Jobber to the stars.
Is this episode going to have something about Serpentico in the title, Carlos?
I don't know. I feel like that would be too obvious. But the thing is, like, is he not the best example, though? Like, can you think of a legitimately better example than, like, literally, this is what you do? Like, I'm actually just trying to think of one.
Fuego del Sol kind of fits that category too.
He does. Although I prefer Serpentico's style.
Of course you do.
Come on, he's got some style. So ridiculous, the whole thing. Yes, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Did you have another question about Sing? Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. And then we
see Serpentico's so mesmerizing. We got distracted. We lost.
Apparently. But yeah, so I was saying about all the interferences at the end or whatever.
Yes.
And then they decide on the DVD. Then it's like basically it's all WCW, and then they go to two things in WWE.
Yeah, most of his run in WWE was shit.
But then they have his match against Triple H at WrestleMania,
which is okay, but
right, which was okay, but then also had interference in it.
Of course, yeah.
From both DX and the NWO.
Which, by the way, even at the time was kind of like perplexing because it's like, but the thing is, the 2/3 of the NWO were buddies with Triple H, and Sting literally fought the NWO.
I was gonna say that more of that, right? But it was like the thing was it was something like, in my opinion, watching it, and the commentary was talking about it too, which is like, okay, fine. I mean, this is why they're doing it, but it's like the Monday Night Wars, the final conclusion to the Monday Night Wars, and it's like, but it's seriously like, 15 years after the Monday Night Wars ended, and you guys won. Like WWE already won. Who the hell still cares about this shit, right? Yeah, and as you said, Sting fought the NWO.
Yeah, it would have actually
WWE creative.
But you know what the best part about this is? Technically, if you were going to do this, it would have made more sense for the NWO to join in on the beatdown of Sting. It would have made infinitely more sense. And then when Triple H wins, it's devalued because it's like, well, you had like 18 allies. Sting didn't have any backup. Because in the end, Triple H wins the damn match. It's like, you brought him in to do this. Why would you win the match? Why do you of all people need another win? You needed a win against Sting? Why?
Because we want to crush WCW.
That's the point.
You already did that.
We're
going to crush them again, Carlos.
That's the point. That literally is the point. The whole thing, Dave, I'm back to my original stance. It's so stupid. It's also stupid.
But you know what they said? Clearly, they're like, someone went to Vince and was like, "But Vince, we won." He's like, "Shoot him again." But why? His soul is still dancing.
Okay, now you drag me into a thing. All right, Dave. I want to talk more wrestling in most episodes, but can we take a moment and talk about the fucking Nick Cage thing?
Sure. Can we?
My head. It makes my head explode.
Sting next week. Then we'll just like talk about Sting some more later.
Okay, make a note of it. Make a note of it. Write it down. Do whatever you have to do. We will talk more Sting next time. Dave, we got to talk about this fucking Nicolas Cage thing. Because I watched it in my head explode.
It's been released yet, right?
No.
Like this, we're only going off a trailer that we've seen, right?
Yes.
Sure. What's the name? So what's the official name?
Hold on. I'm getting it right now. I'm pulling it up. I'm going to get this information because we need to discuss this. Because part of the name is Massive Talent. I want to get the full name of this damn movie here. Hold on. Massive Talent. What is it? The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yeah.
The movie is called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Right. Which features Nick Cage playing Nick Cage, who somehow becomes like into like a secret agent world.
Oh, the release date was yesterday.
Oh, so it is out. So people may have seen this movie if they ever see this episode.
Yes, it's possible. Okay, now this is really important. I saw like I don't know if it was like
now, did you know about this before I told you about it?
No, I literally my response to you with the incoherent to the what to the what? I looked at the stupid trailer. I was like, what is this bullshit? So I'm looking at it and I'm just sitting there like, but I saw like a meme or a post or somewhere like because I went and looked into it and I was like, Nicolas Cage fashioning a comeback by playing Nicolas Cage is the most Nicolas Cage thing humanly possible. No one else could pull this shit off. It's like, what's your plan? My plan is I'm going to play me. Jean-Claude Van Damme tried to do this with mixed results because there was the JCVD. I don't know if you heard about that one, JCVD.
Oh, yeah.
It was okay. It's fine. But like Nicolas Cage is literally playing Nicolas Cage. The one piece got me. The guy had like the shrine to Nicolas Cage. And I think he had a statue. And I want to say the statue was Nicolas Cage in Face Off. Like it was the thing with the guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was him in Face Off.
I believe so.
And like Nicolas Cage's line was like, "That is grotesque. I'll give you $20,000 for it." And I was like, "Yes, Nicolas Cage. Yes." It's all nonsense. All of it.
It is, but it's somehow it's going to be enjoyable. At least, unless it's one of those movies where only the trailer is good. Like they put all the good parts of the movie in the trailer and everything in between absolutely sucks, which is also possible because it's a Nick Cage movie.
I just don't know. But the best part about this is that and here I got it. I just pulled up an article from the Washington Post, and I'm just going to read you the headline. That's all I'm going to read you. Nicolas Cage has seen your memes. He wants you to see his work. Because literally the trailer tells me, he's like, you have literally entered into an alternate reality where all the memes are real. All the memes, Dave. I love memes. Holy crap. Holy crap.
Yes, you do.
I got nothing, Dave.
I don't think you're supposed to though, Carlos. It's just when I saw it, I was like, I must show Carlos this.
And correctly so. You did the right. Dave, the important thing is that you did the right thing. You did the right thing. But even still, like all of it, I was perplexed. I gave you all those things. I was bamboozled. I was perplexed. I was vexed. All of it. Like all of it. All of it, Dave.
You don't say, Carlos. Now, do you know what movie that's from?
Isn't that the one where he thinks he's a vampire?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Which is a really, really fucked up movie. Have you seen it?
I've seen chunks of it. I didn't watch the whole
It's probably it's probably the worst Nicolas Cage movie I've ever seen. And that's saying something. That's right, Carlos.
The bees, Dave. The bees.
Port of Call, New Orleans was better.
The bees, Dave. The bees.
I don't know if I don't think I've seen the bees.
That was I think the Wicker Man.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't seen the Wicker Man.
Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, I don't know. Port of Call New Orleans was fucked up. That was in its own, entertaining its own way. See. Okay, let's do this. We can kind of finish off on this one. All right. So we've got the Bad Lieutenant Port of Call New Orleans. It's kind of a cult favorite. Cult favorite.
I would agree.
Yeah. Okay. What is your favorite actual Nicolas Cage movies?
Actually, a movie? Probably Face Off.
Yes, actually movie. Yes.
Probably Face Off.
Okay. Any other ones you like?
I gotta bring up. Give me a list because nothing is. I was like, yeah.
Lord of War. Lord of War was good. I like Lord of War. Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes was good.
Wasn't he in Con Air?
Yes, he was in Con Air.
Yeah, that one was decent, I think.
I actually. Well, that probably wasn't better. Actually, you know what? I didn't mind National Treasure.
Yeah, that one's a little bit more generic. Not my cup of tea, but I wouldn't blame anybody for picking for liking. Those were decent. Like they weren't bad movies.
The Rock.
Yeah, he was in The Rock. That's right. I think basically what you can do is you can see a certain cutoff point at which it becomes increasingly bullshit, like increasing levels of bullshit.
Yeah, like there are some. I don't know if anything I would put down there is like, oh, this was like a really good movie, right?
I still like Face Off for first ridiculousness.
But there are some movies that on there were decent movies.
City of Angels was a little tacky for me. Gone in 60 Seconds is a personal cult favorite. Gone in 60 Seconds is a personal one. I enjoy that one. I'm just scanning through here. Wind Talkers, Math for me. Adaptation was kind of interesting. That was kind of weird. Lord of War, yep, I mentioned that one. Oh yeah, he was in World Trade Center. Math for me. Ghost Rider, don't care.
Raising Arizona, that wasn't too bad. I mean, that's an older one, but that one's a pretty decent movie.
So aside from
and Leaving Las Vegas, which I believe he won an Oscar for.
Yeah,
is not a horrible. I mean, it's not a very pleasant movie.
The key, I think, to all of this is that it's not like Nicolas Cage was not a good actor. I just think he legitimately at a certain point lost his mind. Like I think he's just lost his mind. But okay, so in the more modern era, let's say,
that vampire movie where all the memes come from,
yeah,
was from 1988.
Yeah. Like he was making memes early, but like he had other good movies in between, like decent movies for what they were. But that's what made it very funny. Here's what I say. To me, his personal greatest appearance, aside from the Bad Lieutenant Port of Call New Orleans, in that late aughts period, let's call it the late aughts. So my personal favorite thing was a very short cameo appearance that, for the most part, was it. Do you remember Grindhouse?
No.
So Grindhouse was the double feature of these really. It was meant to.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know how they had the fake trailers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of those actually got turned into movies.
They did. My personal favorite was the trailer for Werewolf Woman of the SS. Werewolf Women of the SS, with a cameo appearance of Fu Manchu. Google that shit. Do it. Anyway, that's all I need to say. Fu Manchu.
But yeah, this trailer, man, for this movie, just watching it does something to your brain.
It probably melts it. I'm not completely convinced that I'm not sure I fully recovered yet. I don't know, man. It was just so weird, man. Just so weird. I don't even know.
And it's got a decent cast too. Like apart from Nicolas Cage, like Pedro Pascal is a great actor. You know,
I listen. I don't doubt there aren't great actors in it, but it's one of those things where, like, at a certain point, you're like, "What is happening right now? What is going on? I don't even know." Dude, it's like just all of it. It's madness. It is utter madness. Here we go. Nothing is better than Nicolas Cage playing a man named Fu Manchu, surrounded by Nazi SS officers, for reasons that I will never be able to fully explain.
But those fake trailers were golden, all of them.
They were, and you have Nicolas Cage as fucking Fu Manchu. Like I said, in the late aughts, it was a very bizarre time, very bizarre time. Nicolas Cage was already well into the you're out of your goddamn mind territory.
Yep.
But yes, no, that I don't know. I think psychologically, I'm gonna have to like psychologically brace myself for this film. I will watch it, but I have to get my. I'm not gonna sit in the theater and watch this. I need to be able to absorb it. I may have to pause and like go take a walk around the neighborhood.
Fair enough. I may actually see it in theaters, Carlos. So
Yes, we know, but you're deranged.
well, but when did I mean that's not news.
Yeah, I know, but I just wanted to make clear.
All right, okay.
Just so we're all on the same page. Just so we're all on the
Gotcha.
same page. But yes, I think that's good. I think we can end on Fu Manchu.
Yeah, I mean that's what you get with unnecessary nonsense. You don't know where we've said things, but then who knows where we're actually going to do and end up.
I'm trying to think now. How did we end up on Nicolas Cage as a topic there? What was
Because
actually the impetus?
I said shoot him again. His soul still dancing.
Ah, yes. So blame him.
I agree.
That's-
It's my this time. Usually it's you that brings up that line, Carlos, but this time it was me, and it was my fault.
Yes, it was. It was. But anyway, all right, that's fair enough. So yeah, we'll be back. We'll definitely talk about it. We'll talk more about the Sting thing, and that's fine. And then we'll kind of see how things play out. But yeah, we'll see. I'm right now. I feel like we're in a holding pattern right now with AEW stuff. We very much are. I'm hoping that we can start seeing some shifts in development. That's kind of what I'm really hoping for. That's what I want. And then I don't know. Maybe I don't know if you end up watching it in the theater. You can report back your findings, your general spoiler-free findings. I got to see if there's a way I can watch it from the comfort of my large screen television.
Oh, there will be eventually.
Yeah, I'm just wondering though, because the time period between theatrical run and availability is shortening all the time. So I'm wondering if maybe there's a roundabout way for them to do
You
it.
could always usually a lot of time you can if you have the Cineplex app, you can rent it on there.
Intriguing. I'm gonna have to look into that. I'll have to see. But anyway, so that's it for us. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you get your audio podcasts. Watch it on YouTube. Then you can watch my facial expression where we look at Fu Manchu and lose our minds over Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage as a comeback for Nicolas Cage. It is truly grotesque. I'll pay you $20,000 for it.
Go, man.
Valid. Indeed. But there we go. So that's it for myself and Dave. That is episode 130 of the Unnecessary Nonsense podcast. We will see you in the next one.